Hello and welcome, Cover Killer Nation, to the debate floor. Yeah, there was a presidential debate here in America last night, Monday night. And here we are on Tuesday, and it's time for us to have a bit of a musical debate. Now, unlike the last musical debate where we kind of went head-to-head, decade via decade, this time it's going to be based and centered around an idea. Now, Cover Killer Nation, I know that you, like me, really have a love and an adoration for music to a certain level, to a certain extent, that could be considered to be quite, well, scary at some points. Mainly because our love for it is so great that if we all had girlfriends or wives or whatever, some of them may actually get a little bit jealous. However, let me just spell something out for you tonight. Let me just spell this out. For people like you and I, for people such as ourselves that have a huge collection of music, that constantly are exploring new and different forms of music, regardless to whether or not you stay within your niche, we could successfully claim and be perfectly alright and probably very truthful in saying that music is our religion, or at the very least, our life. It's something that really drives us constantly and consistently. It gets us through the day. It helps us preserve the little sanity that we may have left in this rough and tumble bullshit world that we live in. Now, there's something that I've been noticing for the past couple of years. In fact, I'm going to say ever since the middle part of the 2000s. And that is the rise of people using the phrases, music is my life, music is my religion, music is my everything, but they can't back it up. They don't have the ability to back it up. People are actually believing that just because you have a playlist on your iPod that has 3 different genres on it, and they're rap, rock, and country, that means that music is your religion, music is your life, and you are completely and totally centered by it. And it's especially not true whenever those artists happen to all be what's mainstream, what's hip, what's popular, what's cool, what actually would make you on a profile page appear more attractive than somebody who perhaps lists a bunch of names that they enjoy, however, a lot of the other corners of the world have never heard of. Let me illustrate this to you beautifully. Let's say, for example, you're going on a website, www.letsfucktomorrow.com, let's call it that, and you're scrolling through all of these different pictures. Now, of course, on a website like letsfucktomorrow.com, you're going to be focusing principally on looks considering, but let's say, for example, that the name is a misnomer and it is kind of like a dating site, and you scroll down to the music and you see somebody who has kind of similar taste as you, but that's about it. And then you have somebody else who claims that music is their life, their religion, their way of being, and it says that their favorite artists are Lil Wayne, Taylor Swift, Metallica, and, I don't know, Drake. Basically, everybody that's listed is somebody that you can hear on Top 40 Radio at any point in time throughout the day. They're bragging on and on and on about their iPod, and everything just seems really, 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 really typical. Who's going to be more attractive? Well, let's face it, if we're not going off of looks alone, the one who's more musically suited for you is going to seem more attractive. However, to the bulk of the population that maybe doesn't care about music as much as you and I do, the other one might, mainly because they're spouting out names that everybody knows. They're spouting out the Eminems and the Little Big Towns, the Jason Aldeans, the Lady Annabella fucks, and that is what is kind of recognizable to a lot of people in today's society, as opposed to somebody who maybe is listing names such as the Caesars, or Marduk, or maybe someone's saying Forgotten Tomb, Kendrick Lamar, Lupe Fiasco, the Black Keys, you know, whatever it may be. Somebody who's trending a little bit more toward the independent or the lesser-known music scene, but that doesn't necessarily mean that music is truly their religion. The people that I am aiming this at are the people who claim it but don't back it up whatsoever. They feel as though they can use this metaphor incorrectly whenever there are people out there who actually use this idea in their everyday life, and it truly is a fabric of their existence that if torn, if ripped from the sweater of their life, would truly leave them as less of a person as they were with it. These are the people that need to understand one thing and one thing alone. Music can be a religion, but music may not be your religion. Just because you have 400 songs on your iPod and all of them are by somebody who's on top 40 radio and popular doesn't necessarily mean that you don't subscribe to the music is my religion philosophy. There's a very good chance that you are just somebody who really enjoys popular culture, and it doesn't necessarily have to all be top 40 radio in order for you to be happy, but you find yourself geared toward most of it. Either that or a lot of the artists that you have discovered have eventually broken through. However, there are many people out there that are listening to it simply because it's top 40 radio, simply because it is what everybody else does, and then they're claiming that it's an independent trait, and that music is their life. When in reality, they care more about getting drunk, getting high, fucking a bunch of people, being with their friends, and doing a bunch of other ridiculous crap that has, well, pretty much zero to do with music unless you're doing it with those people, and half the time if you're having conversations or whatever, then the music's kind of just background noise. There are people here within this Cover Killer Nation and also throughout this world that study this music, that review this music, that actually really wrap their lives around this music. It's not all about just quoting lyrics on Facebook or Twitter or, it's not about making fictitious and stupid YouTube videos for all of your Friendster or Flickr or whatever the shit it might be, Tumblr accounts. It's not all about just the social networking protocol of showcasing these lyrics to prove yourself as someone adequate to the fabric of society, somebody adequate to the social norm. No, for people like us, it's more about finding the underlying message. It's about the conveying emotion. It's about the feeling. It's about the construction, the instrumentalization, the vocals. It's something that's a lot more centered. Many people call this elitism. It's not elitism. Elitism is in no way, shape, or form bordering on this. However, that is a term that is also fictitiously and ridiculously thrown around as though it were a football. What it is people who actually and truly worship and or subscribe to the idea that music is their life or their religion. Musicians have every right to say that music is their life and music is their religion because they're living the goddamn life. If they're in a band, especially one that is traveling the country, they are making tremendous sacrifices. They are truly chasing after their dream. Music is their life. Don't you forget that. I even have to say that about a lot of artists that I would find to be, well, truly appalling because I still have to give them credit. They're going out there, they're going on tour. It doesn't matter what they do on the tour, but they're actually, appearing at these places. They're actually taking the time out of their lives. They're actually sacrificing perhaps time with their families or time doing other things in order to entertain millions of fans. Just because you say that music is your religion does not necessarily make it true. In fact, in many cases, you're probably just full of bullshit. If in many cases all that you care about going to the club to do is dance or be with your friends or try to find your next fuck toy, then music isn't your religion. If you go to a music store just to contemplate what you're going to be burning on Saturday, music isn't your religion. You're not supporting the craft. All you're doing is planning the way in which you're actually going to bastardize it and rob the people that have worked tirelessly where music is their life, it is paying their bills, it is keeping them, above water, basically giving them the shaft and giving them nothing. Music being your religion is more than just words. It is a philosophy. It is a philosophy that determines your every move, your every means of existence. It's something that actually makes you frame your mind in a certain direction. You still buy your music. You still love multiple formats of music. Even as a CD collector, you still thirst for vinyl or cassette tapes. Now, maybe I'm taking this a little bit far, but truly, whenever I think of the words, music is my life, music is my religion, multiple formats only make sense. It makes the more sense because you're actually respecting and loving and taking the time to research music history. And you actually have an opinion regarding the substance of an artist as opposed to just saying that his new cut is quote-unquote banging. Those people who say that music is their life, music is their religion, fictitiously have no reason to be album reviewers, mainly because their opinions are going to be very, very primitive, not to mention not very well founded. These are people who should write a little column in their high school newspaper that have little snippets, that have the song or the album and just put bangin', sucky, bangin', sucky. And you can almost predict which ones would be bangin' and which ones would be sucky. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to know how you feel. Do you feel that music is your life? Do you feel that music is your religion? Or are you not quite able to take that leap? Do you feel that perhaps you stop a little short? Do you feel that this opinion is correct? Is it valid? Or is this an opinion that perhaps needs some tweaking, some refinement? Perhaps it needs some conditionals attached to it? Let me know in the comments. I want this debate to reach the world, and I want the world to respond. Is music your religion, or are you merely claiming it to be, just like a Catholic who claims to be Catholic by going to church on Easter and Christmas? Which is it?